Hello, my name is Elisa Puffini. I am the Director of Language Services with Catholic Charities of Louisville. Thank you so much for your interest in learning to work with professional interpreters. This training will cover different types of interpreting, the difference between interpreters and translators, interpreting ethics, best practices, and your legal responsibility to provide language assistance. So what's the difference between translators and interpreters? A translator is someone who converts a written document or written text from one language to another. An interpreter is someone who converts spoken or signed conversation from one language to another. Although many translators are also interpreters, these two roles are not necessarily interchangeable. It is a very refined skill set to be able to translate not only words, but to be able to arrange those words correctly to reflect the context, get all the punctuation correct, and to understand the cultural relevance. Both interpreters and translators are highly educated professionals who are fluent in at least two languages. They often train for work specifically in fields like medicine and law. Language professionals must test and qualify separately for these two functions. So here is some interpretation terminology that you may hear when working with an interpreter. An LEP or ELL refers to a limited English speaking person or a person who is learning the English language. F2F, OPI, and VRI, these are all methods of delivery. Face-to-face, over the phone, and video remote. VRS and ASL, these refer to video relay service for use with American Sign Language. And CLAS refers to culturally and linguistically appropriate services. Title VI of the Civil Rights Act of 1964 guarantees a person equal access to health care, legal representation, and other social services regardless of their ability to speak English. This means that facilities accepting federal funding like grants, Medicare, or Medicaid have a legal requirement to provide culturally and linguistically appropriate services to deaf and LEP individuals at no charge to them. The easiest way to ensure compliance is to avoid using family members or children as interpreters and to hire a professional. An interpreter's code of ethics is pretty easily defined with these 7 items: accuracy, advocacy, confidentiality, cultural competence, impartiality, professionalism, and respect. All of those elements are present in any professional interpreter session. Interpreters have an obligation to advocate for their client. If for whatever reason they feel that the client doesn't understand what is being said, they will ask for clarification. They may ask you to even phrase your sentence or your statement in another way. You should feel free to speak with your interpreter about this as well. When you feel you don't understand what's being said, or you don't understand the meaning of something. Interpreters must interpret everything that is said and provide accurate interpretation. They will always interpret in the first person, so they will never say to you, she says she has a stomach ache. It will always be, I have a stomach ache, for example. They will interpret pauses, ums, sighs, and any other meaningful gestures that add meaning to the communication. The interpreter will also do their best to reflect tone and inflection and volume. Here's some things that interpreters will do. First of all, they must interpret everything that is said. If there's something that you don't want said to your client, don't say it to your interpreter. Their positioning. Do not direct your conversation toward the interpreter. They are not the person you're having the conversation with. They're there as a conduit. An interpreter is going to purposely position themselves to allow for open communication between you and your client. So speak directly to your client. They'll ask you to pause. They will ask you to pause often so that they have time to process everything that's being said. They often take notes so they don't leave anything out, but they'll let you know this. Definitely allow extra time for any appointment that requires interpreter assistance. Everything has to be said 2 times, so it's going to take a little longer. So we talked about the things that interpreters do. Now let's talk about the things that interpreters don't. These are things that are not an interpreter's job. They are not social workers. They're not drivers or babysitters or emotional support systems. It's not their place to give advice or opinions. They're not financial helpers, friends. They are definitely not translators. Keep that in mind. These are some helpful tips when you're working with an interpreter over the phone or by video remote. First of all, debriefing or explaining a situation when the interpreter first joins the call can be very helpful. They get a setup, they get some sort of a context of what the situation is. Be client-centered. Make sure that your client is comfortable with video before using it. A lot of cultures have different opinions about this, and some people can be put off. Be sure that you're in a private location. If you're using a speakerphone, do whatever is possible to minimize outside noise or interruptions and turn your volume up. As a matter of fact, our new video conferencing feature helps with this quite a bit. And your planning. Be sure that you have your email addresses, telephone numbers, and everything like that ready when you get on the call. Be sure that your client is expecting your call. Charges still apply whether you reach your customer or not. Catholic Charities of Louisville can be a one-stop shop for language access. First of all, we can provide your organization with a customized language access plan, and we can train your staff on how to use it to keep you in compliance with Title VI. We offer a state-of-the-art interpreter scheduling platform. Services can be accessed in person by using your PC, your mobile device, or any landline. Phone and video services are available on demand 24/7 with over 200 languages available. And of course, we can provide document translation as well. You can learn more about what we offer at languagecclou.org.